Well, the Senate rejecting a White House-backed border and immigration bill for a second time yesterday. 50 senators voting against it, including two lawmakers who negotiated the bill, Oklahoma Senator Lankford and Arizona Senator Sinema. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer questioned about it. Watch his response.
What do you make of the fact that two of the three negotiators, Lankford said that this became a prop, Sinema said that it was political theater? What do you make of that?
I'd look at what they said about the bill. We voted on the bill, not on rhetoric. Both of them to their credit, put their hearts, souls, and minds into this and came up with a damn good product that should have passed until Donald Trump did his thing.
Meanwhile, the House advancing a bill to repeal Washington, D.C.'s law, which would have allowed non-citizens to vote in local elections. 52 Democrats joined Republicans to approve this measure. 143 Democrats voted against it. Let's bring in South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. She's a member of the House Oversight, Armed Services, and Veteran Affairs Committees. Congresswoman, good morning. And I have to ask you about this. Beth Van Dyne was on with us last hour, and she made the point that because it's Washington, D.C., Congress was able to step in. But that's not going to happen in other cities that are trying to do the same thing. Let migrants come across the border vote in local elections.
That's right. And we've had oversight hearings in Congress this year even where Democrats and the left are saying they don't want illegals voting in our elections, and yet they vote against the very thing they say that they're against. And so it's crazy to me to see this sort of thing happening. Almost every single Democrat voted against a bill that would ban illegals from voting in elections in Washington, D.C. And this entire problem that we've seen at the southern border was created by the left, created by Democrats, created by Joe Biden and his administration. And we have sent bill after bill after bill to Senator Schumer to help fix the problem. And he doesn't want to deal with any Republican-led legislation. And we all know that under Donald Trump, we were safer. There were fewer illegals coming across the southern border. His policies saved American lives and kept Americans safe.
Well, but remember that Chuck Schumer also decided to blame Donald Trump for the border bill. Well, Donald Trump did his thing. I mean, basically what he's saying is, to paraphrase, he was saying basically that Donald Trump is running the show in the House GOP. That was his assertion.
Well, well, his assertion is wrong, and it's a lie like everything else from the left. Joe Biden, quote, did his thing and opened our border wide open. And we've had over 9 million illegals cross it since Joe Biden became president. And I have to tell you, tragically, just over a week ago in my district, an infant was killed by an illegal alien DUI. Last year, we had another toddler killed by an illegal alien on the road. And we all know Lake and Riley's tragic story. We all know someone who's died of a fentanyl overdose. There's human trafficking in South Carolina, sex trafficking. All of these things have gotten worse under Joe Biden because he has turned his back on the American people, turned his back on Donald Trump's policies that kept us all safe. And if you think about it, if Joe Biden just instituted Title 42 and remain in Mexico like Trump did when he was president, it would stem the tide of over 80% of illegal aliens crossing into our country today. Just those two things. If Joe Biden did that vis-a-vis an executive order right now, he could stem the tide of 80% of illegal crossings right away.
Let's stay with this issue because the Texas Department of Safety helicopters captured this video of Border Patrol agents in Santa Teresa, New Mexico, clashing with these smugglers and illegal immigrants who are trying to scale the border wall with this ladder. The migrants are tossing rocks, bottles, dirt at the agents. And then Fox News' Bill Malugin interviewed a Turkish man who had just crossed illegally in California. Now he's concerned about who else is crossing the border. Watch.
Did you have to pay a cartel?
Yes.
How much?
Around 10,000.
10,000?
Yes. In fact, the American people is right, completely true. Who come into this country, they don't know. Well, okay, I'm good, but how if they're not good? How they're killer, psychopath, else? No guarantee of that. Why, like no security, no security check, no background check.
No security check, no background check. You're worrying about who's crossing the border?
Yes. Of course, me, because I'm like, people are not look normal.
He just crossed illegally. He's from Turkey, and he's worried who else is coming across. The hypocrisy, Congresswoman.
Well, also, I mean, that's how bad the problem is. When you have an illegal immigrant crossing over illegally, worried about all the other illegals and who's coming across, you know that you have a massive problem on your hands. And in South Carolina, we train Border Patrol agents at our Border Patrol Agency Training Academy at FLETC in North Charleston. We're really proud of the agents that we train here in South Carolina. And these illegals, they don't care. They're violent. They're coming here illegally. And Joe Biden, because of his open border policy, is funding the cartels. You just heard that Turkish illegal immigrant say he paid the cartels $10,000 to come in our country illegally. We're also, vis-a-vis that Schumer border bill, by the way, sending over $1 billion taxpayer dollars to NGOs who are bringing these people into the country. We would be paying their attorneys' fees and legal fees for illegals coming across. It would make the problem worse, not better. That's the irony in all of this today, this debate today.
I'm almost out of time with you, but I need to ask you about that Supreme Court ruling upholding South Carolina's congressional district map. The decision did overturn a district court ruling that basically it was gerrymandering in District 1. Real quick, your reaction to that?
Well, the Supreme Court affirmed what everyone in South Carolina knew, is that the lines for my district were not drawn based on race. I'm grateful to the Supreme Court just to know who lives within our lines, because we have constituents to serve. We serve them 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We work really, really hard for South Carolina, and I'm glad to know that constituents know who their member of Congress is, because they all need to have a voice. They all have the right to have a voice with our office.
We appreciate your voice, Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Thank you for being here. Have a good holiday weekend.